Today's story is called The Old Grandfather's Corner. The Old Grandfather's Corner. A long time ago, once upon a time, there was a no, there was a man. There was man. There was a man, but he was an old man. He was an old man. Well, he was an old man, and we don't know how old he was, but just let's say that he was 85. Okay, 85 years old. Now, he lived with his son. He had a boy, not a boy, but he had a son. Okay, so let's say his son was, let's say he was maybe like 40 years old. Okay, he was 40 years old, and this man had a wife, and so this wife was 30 years old. Now, these two people had a little boy, little child, and the child was only 4 years old. Okay, 4 years old. Years old. Now, this old man, he was weak because he was an old man. He was weak. His eyes, okay, his eyes were weak. He could not see very clearly. Okay, his eyes were dim, means very unclear. You can't see very well. Not only his eyes were dim, his ears, okay, his ears were deaf. Deaf. Deaf means you can't hear. Okay, his ears were deaf. Now, his legs were weak too. So when he walked, he could not walk steadily. He tattered. Okay. He tattered. Now, not only that, his hands shook. And so when he had a glass of water, he was shaken, so he could not drink water well. He spilled it. Okay. So when they are sitting at the table, the man and the woman and the child and grandfather, they are sitting together and they were drinking soup. Okay, soup. Because he's shaking, he's got a spoon, but he's shaking, so he cannot put the spoon to his mouth. Okay? And then he might be able to go like this. He might eat it and maybe soup gets in the mouth, but the soup might come out. The soup, he might spill it. He could not keep food in his mouth sometimes. Sometimes he spilled. Spill means to, the soup goes spill. He sometimes spilled the soup on a tablecloth. Tablecloth, okay? Tablecloth. Here's a tablecloth. This is a beautiful white tablecloth. The wife was not happy. She was annoyed. Annoyed means not satisfied, unhappy. She was annoyed. Where should I write it? She was annoyed. She was annoyed. She did not like it. Well, she said, I don't like the grandfather's actions, behaviors, the way how he moves, the way how he walks, the way he spills things. She said, I do not like his conduct. Conduct. I don't like his conduct, she said. She said, he spills too much on my tablecloth, beautiful tablecloth. She said, he must eat not with us. He must eat somewhere else. And so in the corner of the room, she put a screen. Okay, she put a screen. Screen. This is a screen. Screen. She did not want to see him. So behind the screen, she put a table and a chair. So he sat, the grandfather sat behind the screen and he ate his food. Sometimes the grandfather looks from behind the screen. He looks from behind the screen and he was sad. He was sad. He was sad. Okay, this is okay. This is his eyes, and he cried because he was sad. He was sad because he could not eat with the other members of the family. He could not eat with his grandchild. He could not eat with his son. He was sad. One day, he was walking, but his legs tattered, remember? He could not walk steadily. And he was holding a bowl. He was holding a bowl. He was holding a basin, okay? It's like a bowl. And it was an earthenware basin. Earthenware. Tremble. Earthenware, I think. Earthenware means it's very breakable. Okay. So he was holding this basin and he was walking, but he was walking unsteadily. His legs, his knees shook. His knees trembled, shaking. And so he dropped it. He dropped it, and this earthenware basin broke into pieces. The young wife was angry. She said, "You were not careful. You did not hold the basin careful enough." She scolded. She scolded grandfather. She said, "You are very careless," she said. "You are very, very careless. Why did you not hold the basin carefully?" She scolded grandfather. Grandfather could not hear, but he knew that the wife, the daughter-in-law, his son's wife, his daughter-in-law, grandfather knew his daughter-in-law was angry. He could tell. He was sad. He cried, and he looked at the daughter-in-law very sorrowfully, sadly, he looked at her. Okay. She said, I will buy a wooden bowl for you, she said, so that you will not break it. So she went and bought a wooden bowl for 1 penny. Very cheap wooden bowl. And she said, you must eat behind the screen. Now, a few days later, the 4-year-old boy, he was sitting on the floor, and he was making something. He was putting some wood pieces together. Wooden pieces. Okay, I don't know how it looked like, but wooden pieces, wooden pieces together, and he was playing pieces of wood. And so the father came to him and he asked the boy, hey, what are you doing? Father said to the boy. And then the boy said, oh, he said, I am making a wooden bowl. I am making wooden bowls for my papa and mama. I am making wooden bowls for you and for my father and for my mother. For you. I'm making wooden bowls for you. Because when I grow up, you too will need wooden bowls, he said to the father. The man and woman, the son and the woman looked at each other. They looked at each other without speaking. They didn't say a word. They just looked at each other without speaking, and they began to cry. Oh. She said, I'm sorry. I should not treat your father unkindly. He said, I am sorry too. And so the woman went to the grandfather, and she said, oh, please come and eat with us. Oh, please come and eat with us at the table together. So from that on, the son and the wife and the boy and grandfather always ate together at the same table. And the wife always treated the old man kindly. She always took care of him kindly. The end.